Well, friends, how are you doing? Day 1133. Hope you're doing amazing. Come a little bit late tonight. I just want to come in and share with you a little bit about BC's steps in terms of getting a driver's license. Reason why is because my younger brother, my half brother, Robertson, he just turned 16 a couple weeks ago, and he is in that process right now. So I had to kind of look it up a little bit. But yeah, I remember back when I was 16 and I got my license. All I had to do was just take a knowledge test, book a driving test, and then done. I get my Class 5 license and drive whenever I want. But I don't know how long it's been now. Probably a decade, maybe a little more than that, 15 years. That BC implemented a system to identify newer drivers. I think because there was a lot more accidents and it was about insurance rates and so forth. But anyways, nowadays you still have to take a knowledge test, and so I think my brother booked one for in a few weeks here. So once he gets the knowledge test, passes it, he actually gets an L. How do I do this? L? No, L. And with the L, it means learners. So he gets a learner's permit, and so he can actually drive around. But he needs somebody with a Class 5 that can actually be in the car with him, and that's it. And so I believe it is 1 year that he has to have the L. Is it 6 months? Crap. You can look it up just to make sure it's official, okay? But yeah, I think it's a year. And then after the year, then you take the test, a driving test again. No, not again, sorry, for the first time. And if you pass that, you get an N. N meaning new driver. And so with the N, you actually have to drive with the N for 2 years before you can take it off. You have to retake the driving test to get your Class 5 license, which basically puts all restrictions off. However, I believe if you take a young driver's course, you can drive with the N for a year and a half instead of 2 years. So you can save 6 months that way. To me, I don't think it really matters. But apparently there are some restrictions if you have an N versus a Class 5. For example, they don't want you to do any distracted driving, so no cell phone, not even on a stand or anything like that. It has to be actually put away in a compartment. You can't turn on the music, you can't do anything basically, no distracted driving, you can't eat, no nothing. I'm like, wow, that's strict, but I'm like, but that's actually a good thing. It just means, the newer drivers can actually focus on the road, which means safer roads for everyone. And so, at first I was like, oh man, what a pain in the butt to actually go through all that stuff, but understanding why they did it, it makes a lot of sense, right? And so, those are kind of the steps, and I know it's in BC, but I don't know if any other provinces do that. I don't think so, most of them. Some of them I'm sure probably has it. I don't know where you live, but if it's not BC, do you have a system to identify newer drivers? And lastly, why is it a good thing? Because I know for myself, when I see someone who has an N or an L on their car, and they're driving poorly, let's say that, maybe driving really slow or turning not very well or just merging very poorly, I will have a lot more patience for someone if I see an N or an L, because they're a newer driver. They might be scared, they might not be confident in their driving skills yet, which is totally understandable, right? Any skill that we learn, it takes some time to gain some confidence, and so driving is no different. And so, I think it's a good thing. But there's one more thing. Well, for those of you who have had road rage or seen it, if someone cuts you off, do you go on a little fit, or do you let it go? What if they had an N or an L? Would that make a difference? And why would it make a difference? At the end of the day, emotions, we're all emotional people, but road rage does not help anyone. So I'm hoping that, maybe you can just think about it. What if they had an N? Right? Because sometimes we may not see things. It doesn't mean that you're a bad driver. Maybe we missed something that one time, right? So, my hope is that, people are more patient, more understanding, and try to drive as safe as possible. Because today, oh my gosh, I was in Surrey. I was taking my dad to Costco to get some groceries, but it was snowing, and I was just like, okay, it's time to slow it down. Just because, there's not a lot of snow here usually, so a lot of times Vancouver drivers or the region are not very good drivers when it comes to snow. So it's supposed to snow this actually coming up weekend, and so if you have to drive, just slow it down a little bit. You know, add some extra time to actually get to your destination, but it's not worth risking your life and other people's lives. Okay. Anyways, that's all I have to share today. Stay safe, my friends, as the snow comes this upcoming week, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good night.